jërë ngeen jëf mbokk yi tey ñu teew fii ci Westfield Monument mu doon bés boo xam ne jigéen ñi ñoo taxaw fii tey di démontrer lan la ñuy démontrer mooy mbiri jigéen ñi mooy Women's Life Matter bi Women's Life Matter tey ñu taxaw ne jigéen ñuy dee dafa bëri tey muy date on the 25th gars yi di wane ne jigéen ñuy dee si lopitaan bi bëri na lu waral dee bi mooy lack of caring bi ñu ne amuñ enough equipment amuñ garab soo demee ñu naan hospital bi jigéen ñi amuñ glove ba tax na tey ñu ne dañoo génn pour ñaax government bi taxawu leen pour government bi jóg gëstu jigéen ñi pour gis ne dee bi nu mu bëree ci lopitaan bi dina wàññeeku ba tax na tey ngeen ànd ak GMTV ak man mii di paño yi ñëw fii pour mbir mi waaye incha allah toppaleen ma lu bëri di ngeen ko gis dinañ waxtaan ak ñu war a waxtaanal yëpp jërë ngeen jëf nañ leen dem ci. nuyu naa.
ñaa man fay naa la.
yaa am jàmm.
alhamdulilah sant yàlla.
sis tey ñu ñëw fekk leen fii ci Westfield Monument bi mu doon démonstration boo xam ne Women's Life Matter la tey lan moo waral jigéen yi jóg takku ne dañooy démontrer pour Women's Life Matter.
waaw dégg naa lu last tamit génn nañ at this time the same date waaye ba tey lu mu bëgg a amuñ ko si government bi amuñ ko si ministre bi ndaw ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi gaañu si réew mi is too much depuis last August up to this August is more than 200 plus waaw so loolu tax ñu génn dina wax si government bi tam dina wax si ministre bi ñu ngi xam ne ñu ngi dee si lopitaan bi dina war a dee bu sa time jotee rek da ngay dee waaye am na yeneen déet bi su la ko waxee nga xam ne loolu warulaa rey because last month ñu am boo xam ne ñu on opération coral off jërëjëf ku ko war a taal nekku fa soo mu dee ndax loolu dogal yàlla la du ministre gëstu yow léegi ma delluwaat si government na government mu mënuñoo dimbale hospital si ñoo xam ne ni am njëriñ boo xam ne dafa nekk automatique bu laaj offee moom mu ron mu nekk on pour mu save life si parce que léegi nag government mu lees ak nawek laaj si nga xam nekk ne si hospital nii na mun nañoo bàyyi yooyu buñ off waaye léegi nga léegi dafay nekk si générateur bi su loolu amul tamit ñu nekk tamit si lopitaan bi suñ waree def opération nañ lees ak nawek ñu war a am opération at this time nañ mun nañoo baala suñ line bi mu nekk on suñ defee opération bi pare ñu seet waaye normally lopitaan bi waratul a off lopitaan yu bëri soo fa demee léegi dafa day fekk black out is on dawn ba pare ñu delluwaat si ministre bi tamit mu delluwaat si lopitaan yi si hospital yi mu laajte dox système yi ak ñu fa nekka parce que ñun lu leen war a lu leen génna léegi dina wan def dee bleed tuuma te xamul lu tax muy bleed continuous bleeding bi mu laajte docteur si ñu xam ne ñoo fa nekka la moo war a cause loolu léeg-léeg tamit dinañ laal ministre waaye dinañ laal government léeg-léeg naa dem si benn hospital boo xam ne du am glove dinaa gis nurse boo xam ne man am glove te du ma la mën a laal te dëgg la xamul ban feebar nga amee te mu amul glove ndax glove war naa ma nga si lopitaan yi léeg-léeg tamit nga war a opérer nit garab amut man lu ma doon ñaan docteur yi ak ministre of health soo waree def opérations ñu try ñu war a nit yëpp mu nekk intact muy garab muy everything bu dee mu fa nga door koo laa waaye léeg-léeg dañ laa ndikkee ba ba ñu ne ñu bindal la garab dama jënd garab léeg-léeg da nga lay daw dem jënd nga ba nga nga fekk sa nit ki dee loolu dafa daw yaram trop ba pare ñu dee gaayu tamit ay ndaw lañ soo seetlee seen age bi between 30 to 18 years la dafa daw yaram trop loolu noonu ñaan jigéen ñi nekk suñ kanam tey dama foog ne dañ leen fi fekka waaw vice président mi jigéen la mun naa génn force li war naa génn parce que jigéen la suñ génn at ñu waxaañu o ñu deeñi tamit seen xol bi mun a sisté la tuuti waaye ñu deeñi tamit ñu leen di massaw dina yàlla yërëm te lii moo waral suñ génn bi pour gouvernement bi ak ministre bi gestu jigéen si Gambie bi pare ñu delluwaat si lopitaan yi ñu def seet lan moo fa xew ba pare naa delluwaat wax suñ jigéen yi tamit ñaame den dee biir boo demee lopitaan luñ la wax nga follow léeg-léeg dañ dem lopitaan ñu jox la garab nga ne garab bi su ma ko naan dama dee miir naan ko guddi nga tëdda danga ko naan guddi nga tëdda doo miir léeg-léeg su ne da nga war a lekk bu baax melul ne lekk bu cher bu nekk moo nekk lekk bu baax du loolu suñ mbax lii sa dafa riche seerut mun nga koo lekk suñ place mun nga koo lekk twice a week di nga am deret suñ xob yi nga xam ne ñun suñ boobu ñoo ko dee ji mun nga koo mix soo ko yee tamit ne o buñ la bindalee dara yow jànguloo soo yee kër bu ko bàyyi noonu sa biir baag bi waa sa jëkkër man de lii leen ma bindal waaye xaw ma lan la so moom su jàngu na ko woon keneen mu jànga ñu try tamit di follow suñu routes yooyu tamit si lopitaan bi ñun jigéen ndaw yi nga xam ne dañ dee bi ñu dem lopitaan may ñaan loolu tamit.
am na solo bu baax a baax est-ce que yéen dañ dee toog ak minister of health pour waxtaan ak moom comme noo leen koy defee.
den ne seen leeta waaye du nga ko dee mën a jot den ne seen leeta di nga ko dee mën a jot.
doo leen ko dee mën a jot pour toog ak.
waaw o suñ génnee ni laasta gi génnoon nañ dégg na ko waaye balaa moo génn a wax si dafa jël time waaw bu ne ñu génn nañ tey nii mu dafa war a génn maybe around 5 o'clock or 8 o'clock news lii ak lii moo xew waaw loolu moo tax ñu tamit ñu sawar si ñu kontaan si waaye ñun dem bëgg a ne ñoom tam ñu génn ñu jàppaloo ñu seet naka la parce que 100% bi lack of blood la every day ñu ngeen doon blood every day ñu ngeen doon blood suñ jàppalante we work together mun na am yooyu yëpp dafa bàyyi waaye ñun suñ génnee jàppale ñu suñ bëggee def dara sax duñ ko mën a def without the government suñ ko mën a def tamit dafa jël time waaye li ma government bi am ministre mu génn ak ñu waxtaan ñu seet ñu ñëw ay Gambien lañ te jigéen tamit nga am doom dañ si dee kontaan trop waaye léegi da ngaa biir sax nga xalaat na man la na du man loolu moo tax.
jërëjëf am
waaw jërëjëf tamit.
Thank you very much. With the sole aim of reducing maternal mortality, advocating for increased investment in the health sector, and to raise awareness of the general public, state and non-state actors on matters affecting women and children in the Gambia. We commend and applaud the government of the Gambia for their support towards the health sector during these trying times of COVID-19. We noted the attention that the health sector has gained over the time due to many health challenges the world is faced with. We also note that Gambia is a signatory to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, dubbed in Banjul, charter that protects both the civil and political rights as well as the economic, social and cultural rights of citizens. The Banjul Charter also guarantees the equality of men and women and prohibits discrimination, including based on sex, among other statuses. We also note that Gambia is a signatory to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, dubbed in Banjul. Furthermore, the African Charter on the Rights of Women, otherwise known as the Maputo Protocol, complements the African Charter by providing an explicit definition of discrimination against women and addressing traditional values and practice that can impair gender equality, including forced marriage and female genital mutilation. The Gambia has not only signed these instruments, but in our own constitution, the rights of women and girls have been guaranteed under Section 28 and further buttressed in the Directive Principles of State Policy in under Chapter 20 rather. We also know that the Gambia has its own Women's Act, Children's Act, Disability Act, Sexual Offence Act, and Domestic Violence Act, among other laws and relevant policies, all of which uphold the rights of women and girls and place clear obligations on the government to respect, protect, and fulfill these rights. As a signatory to international instruments that protects the rights of women and girls, and especially the UN Convention on the Rights of the Children, discrimination against women, and the Gambia government is under international organization to further protect women and girls, which includes to ensure that women and girls obtain and access service, facilities, resources that will ensure that health and well-being as equal human beings in this country is observed. As an advocacy group, the Gambian Women's Life Matter are concerned that despite the commitments and efforts by the government in promotion and protection of the rights and welfare of girls and women, our mothers and sisters continue to die in their numbers during childbirth. Pregnancy has become a life sentence for many when it should be a blessing and joy. The noble task of procreation for the continued survival and existence of human race on earth. Hence, pregnancy is special and every effort must be made to make it safe, enjoyable, and peaceful. Unfortunately, this has not been the case of many women in this country. This is a huge cause for concern for us, and we hold that the state is failing in its duty to vigorously and proactively respect, protect, and fulfill the rights of these women. In this regard, allow us to state that in the protection of human rights and provided in domestic, regional, and international instruments, a non-negotiable three-tier obligation has been placed on the state to uphold. There are obligation to respect. This is to recognize and accept that, first of all, human rights exist and they deserve to be protected and fulfilled by the states and everyone else. Again, obligation to protect. That the state to refrain from interfering, harming, or abusing directly or indirectly with the enjoyment of reproductive rights. This obligation also includes the state to prevent third parties from infringing on reproductive rights and to make steps to investigate and punish such violation when they occur. That the state adopt whatever measures or provide necessary resources necessary, be they legislative, budgetary, judicial, and/or administrative, to ensure the achievement of the full realization of reproductive rights. We note that as part of their obligation, states must ensure that reproductive health system, information, goods, and services are available, accessible, acceptable, and of good quality for states to meet their obligation to respect, protect, and fulfill reproductive rights. We are saddened that despite these instruments, Gambian women continue to suffer and die with impunity as their lives never mattered, contrary to our belief that no woman should die while giving birth. Daily accounts indicate that we lose 2 or more women during childbirth due to lack of blood, poor hospital conditions, including lack of necessary medical equipment, or even electricity and water supply, and ambulance service, among others, which pose a direct contravention to the government's obligation while undermining the right to life of women. We hold that no Gambian woman should die just to give birth to another Gambian. Both lives must live and in good health. We are therefore calling on the government and all stakeholders that this march is a call to action. We are hereby making the following demands to the Gambia government and all relevant state institutions for urgent and comprehensive action. We reserve the right to employ all other peaceful constitution and democratic measures to ensure that the lives of Gambian women are not endangered while giving birth to a Gambian. To institute a commission of inquiry to publicly investigate all maternal deaths over the last 5 years with a view to ascertain the reason and identify measures to address them. To open a public inquiry on the utilization of the funds given to the health sector during COVID-19 to ensure that every butut was well spent in line with the law, and where here have been causes of corruption and mismanagement, necessary measures of accountability are undertaken. Call on the government to increase the budgetary allocation to the health sector to the 15% agreed in line with the AU Abuja Declaration of 2001. We also urge the Minister of Health to take responsibility for all babies of mothers who died out of negligence, incompetence, lack of proper infrastructure, or for lack of adequate and timely information. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, as well as the Department of Social Welfare, to be fully strengthened and empowered to take up their roles more effectively to save women and girls. We are calling on the Gambia government to eliminate all costs related to antenatal and postnatal care and strengthen the OG units of all health facilities in the country to ensure availability, access, and quality. We cannot conclude without remembering those of our colleagues who died untimely for the wrongs of others. They are the heroes. We pray for Fanta Job of Brikama, Misira in the West Coast region, Fatumata Tambala of Jalambang village in West Coast region, Fatumata Kijera of Brikama, Misira in West Coast region, Kumba Sambo of Tubakuta village in West Coast region, Kadimane of Kitty village in West Coast region, Wasabojang, Brikama in the West Coast region, Fatumata Lee in the Greater Banjul area, and Jankembu in the Greater Banjul area. I thank you all for your kind attention.
Also,
I would like to thank Aisha Singate Foundation, Mother's Health Foundation, and Bama Care Foundation for always supporting Gambian Women's Life Matter movement, especially Aisha Singate Foundation and Mother's Health. They have been providing babies who lost their mothers on milk, clothes, and so many things that they would need for their upbringing. So we want to say a big thank you to all of you, and I think the floor is open for questions.
Thank you so much, Sally, for that well-articulated message, and I wish our demands are met. And we will not conclude this gathering without not inviting Uncle Madi to deliver a short statement. Uncle Madi, you're welcome.
Okay. Thank you. For those who have been victims of lost lives as they give birth to a Gambian, can you observe a minute silence? Can you observe a minute silence?
Silence. Silence, please. A minute. Minute silence.
Thank you. May their souls rest in perfect peace. The woman is the most important person in human society. We've listened to the families of the victims, and we are listening very well to the sheriff from the Kama. His wife died, and as a baby girl. Now, he's denied company, and that's going to have lifelong effect on him. But more importantly, we have that baby who is not going to get that breast milk, that mother's love that she needs, that every human being needs. And then, of course, the siblings are there, and the rest of the family going through grief for something that is unnecessary. I think it is so scandalous, I cannot express how angry I am that a human being, and a woman for that matter, giving birth to a Gambian had to die because of a generator, because of medicine. Now this is a very serious issue, and I think all Gambians must recognize this and rise up to address this, because it is utterly unnecessary. The Gambian government has all the resources necessary to make pregnancy enjoyable, comfortable, and make childbirth safe for our women. So as a husband, as a father of girls, I am scared, I am shocked, I am angry to think that my wife or my daughter could be a victim, could be one of those girls. It is utterly unacceptable. And the Gambian government has full obligation, the statement has highlighted that here, that the Gambian government has obligation to make sure that facilities and resources are adequately provided to ensure that our women who are pregnant, who are giving birth to another Gambian, do so in peace and safety. There's absolutely no reason why the Common Health Center should be in the condition in which it is, or Sarakonda Hospital, or El Francisco Hospital, or the Federal Hospital. There's absolutely no reason other than the fact that the necessary political will does not exist in our government to deploy the resources necessary to ensure safe pregnancy, safe child delivery, in comfort and happiness. And this is what citizens got to realize. And our problem is not merely about the government, but our citizens. Which Gambian does not have a mother, a wife, a sister, a female friend? This place would have been filled to capacity from here till traffic light by Gambian men, Gambian women, Gambian children. Because this is directly about our own lives. So we, the people of the Gambia, got to take our lives seriously. those who died, they never chose for their people to die in giving childbirth. So this could have happened to any Gambian. So any Gambian with conscience should have been here. And more importantly, we should have expected that the Vice President, Dr. Asadu Toure, should have been here.
Thank you.
The Minister of Health, Lamin Samada, should have been here.
Thank you.
The Minister of Gender, Social Welfare and Children, Fatu Kinde, should have been here.
Exactly.
The Speaker of the National Assembly, Mariam Dendin, should have been here.
Exactly.
And so on and so on.
Exactly.
But that alone tells us, Gambian women, your lives don't matter. But the people you elect and appoint to be in charge of our public institutions, that should deliver the services to you to have comfort and safety. That is what it shows. Because why in the first place would the IGP have the audacity to deny a permit for this man?
Thank you. Thank you. That's why they're
Wait for 24 hours or 48 hours to give back that permit and to restrict this man to a space of 100 meters and for 2 hours, as if we are seeking his permission or he's the king of the Gambia and we are tenants, foreigners in this country. Gambian women, your lives, the people who are in charge of this country, they don't care about your lives. And it is high time Gambian women, but more importantly, Gambian men and women and all citizens to stand up to say it is unacceptable. Go to Edward Francis Ford Regional Hospital, as our proposed hospital right now, and just see the squalor of that compound. The dilapidation of that hospital itself, the unkindness, the fear in that hospital, and this is our proposed hospital. Many times you would have the State House, the ministers, the president, top government officials driving huge vehicles all over this place. With all the comfort that they need, yet they don't even take their wives and children to public hospitals. But that's why you and me, the poor people, go there. And this is what we have to recognize. So government got to stand up to say, look, we pay tax. Gambians pay tax, huge amount of tax. Gambia receives huge amount of loans and grants. And we cannot have a country in which people who are in government continue to enjoy benefits and incentives and comfort. And many people who are paying them, we die as we give back to another Gambia. It is totally unacceptable. So I thank the Gambian Lives and Women Lives Matter movement and all the organizations that have come here and be the few serious, conscientious Gambians who have decided to come here under these hot suns and express what is unjust, what is unacceptable, what is unfair. And I think this battle should continue, and we should not rest until we make sure we have the state-of-the-art hospital at Edward Transport Teaching Hospital and all our health centers from Banjul to Kotor.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum to you all. My name is Kumba Seka and I'm from Bijilo. I'm a victim. I came to say a story about my mom. So her name is Naisam. She died 3 months ago while giving birth. I'll never forget that day. I was on my way going to school. They called me and said that my mom is going to the hospital. I rushed to Kaneti to meet her there and they take her to Banjul. I went to Banjul. We sat almost 2 hours on the door. They said I should not enter, and I'm the only one responsible for my mom. We lost our father 6 years ago. We only remaining with our mom. So I'm the only one responsible to go in with my mom to stay with her. can help us. Because I'm not the only one who lose my mom. We have others who lose their mothers, their sisters. So I believe we should have help and they should provide every necessary equipment in the Gambian local hospitals. And thank you all.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm greeting everyone here. Whilst we were marching, some of you could see me crying bitterly. I wasn't crying because of my cousin or my sister passed away. I'm crying because I'm a woman. I'm crying because youths are in big risks. We are all at risk as women. Giving birth, we're at the age of giving birth. But if we are to give birth and die, I don't see how. Why should we? I mean, Ibrahim, I can't even talk. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Ibrahim, we don't have enough time.
Yeah. Things Gambian women ñëpp a ngi lose ñu bari ñu ngi lose seen life jamono bi, all because of hospital negligence.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Nero nana. Nana, Nero nana.
Yeah. Time dafa jeex. Sorry, ah. Sorry.
Nana.
Yes.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Le kapo be kontonna Aissatou be kontonna bake. Be mo be kontonna kantu bi ndiyati jang min sati nan se diamu ni ku yale bi jambi anin kumbo anin ni toro bar bitun senju sol nyabu nim manju sol nyabu na dimin namu min tinta fonola bar Gambia be tembe da min to bi sa fale ko altolla nyunguru bo mbal tentula mbali jayila alay anin kila fo ala sal sambanyato fo ala sa nyunguru bo sambanyato nte doma nim bota bakilin fakilin min keta sirif bo janti abe kembuje ala muso wala wuluta aya dingo tuje ika fay fandur de nano be mbulun tebe sirin sabatirin bakawle bar de nano be mbuluje bar ku folo don salon ko bi altol bi en safo kal tolle tambitante man sakundala kantu min be kerin Gambia kono man sakundaya belon ne bara man ku na faja man ku jaraje birin tol kumbota altol len tol kiskisi fal nata fontela bungo kon nata jal din ka jama keke jama kodi jama modu nabe tilota tray ni kato wota tolien tol kili dawo dambe wullale mankende a nyaaw nyaabar nin koto ma haynan ajaka di bo janna nata jam alien tara wolum nata le be bungo kon bi Gambia koy na fokaton ndeta fula bir kama lopitano damma Gambia koy na fokaton a be lopitano futa ngamira biral nata jelu ngami na ngafo minister yel kunun ko be siri ngala min samata mo ka kumo min fom fa on yokuyata ka fo docteur jama kana bori jama bi jang min to nyin ambulance sol min yana tin tol fata lale man la fi ambulance la ni kuranta bi yedunde ambulance ko ne yesa mbalobitan bori kesole kamin bondin tol ngala nin ala nin kila musoli be wulula ibe dingol tulaje wala dol ni dingol kata jama lafta wala ngamira banko lafta siyalla fo banko lafta talala le bang nim banko man lafta talala president baronte dem ba fo le ente aja ayda bo jang bakaw new town nin tele bu itati num bi wallahi yatambo min kay tatambila kuntu musulu Gambia muso man sawo man sani aja lota bi musolle tesi ti fay lota wallahi musolle ke londi musolle ke ka kuti barwo musolle fanan ni e kumbondi imam kunoyla bari tol fana min noy be wokella nin tele mabe lola la ina janjibe masibo min be jang anin ko min be kerin Gambia kono ayalong lisa barana ta tambeta abeteyata bar docteur samate ngani ñine fay ko ta éducation ita lapitano jibe min ka tama je foyalon foymalo wuliya tama ita je mol ka borol le sang ndeji barin kela musoti waya ma somandale a wuluta wo somanda kilo to tanama soto bari jadi ba fula montaro wati fula drong no sol ko abe bilit kam bir kama lapitano be warani nyamin wulu bu be warani nyamin no so fulante o koy koy manke no so ti manke docteur de ordre lilem ndenga wala fo jewolu koy ñunu nin takan kanto niya mo samba na wuluta ya jamin ka babala ndi taman suter ke je ndi man faam je ndi ma keno asamba dami ya lon ko laftani ba mi be banjul laftano asamba je tuma doni wal fana man ku non salon ko alala ko le sita baraliya to lorin ji alka ke ko tabo yelo ni na tata yele musu sabanata aya na ta adi yalla ali o yelo ga hani bi bilit man kem kuntuno alta sambala loptan birin somanda talantan ninkili fo wularo talan woro wula tambita ibe futala saro biri joto wato fitro tambita ibe futala je wati min nay ma fe ma futandi muna nata fala na fata be jede kumbola mbe muna kumbola na man ke loptano la ministre timi yalla ko atebe lo rinjara lot ngani mfoye walum koye kunun nimbi man killing kunun kole kunun kata nyama lopitano musoli man kumbola fani ya haramuta bori keso mo ma kumbo nkoye momo ila jamano kabanne bari bimbe president barola jamano le kono yin saya nya ndema je nu wotumo mbota yin sanji mo min kono manyi bululal min ka fatante o nyamaji bari telole may momo singoma ibe wulla bari woto musol mbal tentula mbali jayila musol fanga doyata nyintila albele nyanta fintila albele finti woto mbal tentula mbali jayila mbe duwala de simani jata kendala ale badna fami ken na bena noli ale bayol fasa minna aja ayda bo jam bakaw nyutam barde na no fabe kembuje ka fay sirif bo jam ala baraka ala mali al jon te dal yakiliro ke wato wate mbe fintilale man ken de nyaaw nyam bal ko ma bim bal ko ma sama kantu mu'mini ka kilandi wal fasa ka bayol fasa ala ma ala altu ala ma ala altu balin jam inin bar ala ma ala yejo ni la dimbali be ala baraka to mbe ko mo dan na jam
I would thank Esa Fall. He's among our midst here. Thank you so much, Mr. Fall, for coming. And I think we'll draw the curtain here. Mbe mol be tentula mbe jaila momo yala time ota yela doku be bulaje yena ka funtol kanja mbafle andi mbara ba ni ko mandiro ke ni mol nate dankula wollon jambaroti bari mbafle Esa Fall ye gacha ngalama bari ayala hajo be bulana njele anata nankana be ngo mabe alam mari milbe to tingoto alma dannela alma ka farni ne makla ngamobe tenduge jay ila na ko wala jambi birin banko dawada ani media hati so na
waa di leen jaajëfal rek ne di leen wax ne yéen a ngi àndoon ak GMTV jërë ngeen jëf lii lañ leen amaloon tey fii ci Westfield Youth Monument bi dégg ngeen jigéen yi lu ñaxtu dégg ngeen am nañ interview ak Esa Fall am nañ interview ak ñoom ST ak gaay yëpp ñaxtu nañ nag lu bëri lu am solo loo xam ne ñu ngi koy pousse ci nguur bi ba sax na nguur gi nañ jóg pour jàppale jigéen yi waaye di leen wax ne bu leen fàtte di toppa GMTV rek lépp loo leen soxla nañ leen ko isil yéen ak GMTV dara du doy subscribe leen GMTV Gambia laal leen bel boobu ngeen xam ne lépp lu xew ci réew mi fii rek dinañ dem jëli ko indil leen ko ñu ngi leen ay jaajëfal yéen ñu ñuy seetaan yéen ñu ñuy bàyyi xel di jaajëfal suma caméraman bu ma àndaloon muy Ablaye maa ngi koy jaajëfal bu baax a baax di leen wax ne jërë ngeen jëf li lañ amoon tey ci Westfield Monument bi bye bye